crashed. Ali, if you're watching again, my laptop crashed. There's not much I can do about it. Let's see what's going on here. Record. What? So I'm not going to Facebook or YouTube. That's weird. Let's see what's going on here. No, I am going to YouTube. Okay, so what? Look, I can't keep up with this, so I'm not going to Facebook. My streaming software. Okay, look, YouTube. I am going to YouTube accordingly. That's weird. Anyway, this is Hitch Bonkies 2. Let's see what's going on here. No, I am going to YouTube. Okay. So my restream is saying that there's an error and I'm not going to Facebook, which is a shame because that's where all the people that I really... Anyway, not going to get into that. Ali, if you're still out there, comment, man, because I hope you rejoined. My laptop is overheating. So the same thing might happen again. Anyway. I did see... and am only 18. Okay. Jake Paul. I'll catch up. I used to have an Australian friend. She was getting annoyed by me. She was way more older. We were in a group with others. She was 70 or more, and I'm only 18. Xbox group. Look, that's understandable, man. Basically, you know, you're an invader, coming here, taking our jobs, rooting our women. And she was 70, so she was probably, she was really into it. And you didn't fuck her. That's where you went wrong, bro. Nice streaming. That's great. Yeah, thanks, man. Courier Street. Oh, someone else on Kick. That's cool. That's great. Someone else on Kick. I haven't had any other interactions on Kick other than people saying, do you want more people? Do you want to stream to more people? Give us money. And I block them immediately. So if you start saying, yeah. So, yeah, come at me. Glad to have you aboard. Carrier Street C2. Carrier Street 2. Cool name, man. Anyway, let's get back. The point of this stream that I'm trying to make is that despair is an extremely dangerous thing. And if you're young, like the best thing you can do seriously is learn from the mistakes of people like me, and I have made plenty. Like I've often thought that like people talk about the invasion of Islam in the West. I don't think Islam will survive the West because they don't really know what they're getting involved with. They don't really know how evil the West is. So I don't know, maybe not. Anyway, I'll keep translating this book. Here we go. Translating from the French. I'm doing the best I can. In the towns, the mud would suddenly seem to me to be red and black, like a mirror when the lamp is being carried about in the next room, like a treasure in the forest. Good luck, I would cry, and I would see in the sky a sea of smoke and flame, and to right and left of me all riches flaming like 1,000 million lightnings. All of this stuff, all of this art that's been brought out, it's very beautiful, it's linguistically clever. but it sells despair. And it's like, seriously, you do not take the black pill. It's such an evil thing to do. If you just get into gratitude, that is how you fight the black pill. And speaking truth. I think if everyone spoke truth, then we could coexist. But I just don't think we could. I don't think progressivism is the answer. As I've said, like my previous stream, where, you know, I will admit one of us got a little bit too drunk. One of us decided it was a good idea to scull and raw dog an entire bottle of vodka. One of us. I'm not going to say which one. Let's not get into who said what. Point is, I forgive you because I'm awesome like that. Anyway. Okay. Dans les villes, le bout, my French pronunciation is terrible. Mélange et la camaraderie des femmes. But orgy and the comradeship of women were forbidden me. Not even a companion. I could see myself in front of an angry crowd, facing the firing squad, weeping with the unhappiness which they would not have been able to understand, and forgiving them like Joan of Arc. Priests, doctors, masters, you are mistaken in handing me over to justice. I have never belonged to this people. I have never been a Christian. I belong to the race which used to sing under torture. I do not understand the laws. I have no moral sense. I am an animal. You are making a mistake. I think that translation is pretty good. I don't know. Help me with it. If you can speak French, so we're at the second paragraph now. Yes, my eyes are closed to your light. I am an animal, a Negro, but I am capable of being saved, you maniacs. This is all like modern art, and this kind of nonsense has been, the entire purpose of it has been to destroy our culture. If you look into the French Revolution, the things that came of it and the people that were behind it were fucking awful people. But this is where I think progressivism, just because I don't think the world is ready for it, even though we are about to have a bump in consciousness and the next 6 months are going to be wild. The next 6 months are going to be a lot of people in psych wards, ending up in jail. Like, it's going to be a dangerous time. But if you don't, I said it in the like, I've had to restart this stream. But on the 30th of October, there is going to be a shift in the frequency, and that shift in frequency is like the day before Halloween, and people don't realize they're going to be a lot more open, and then people are going to start celebrating Halloween, which most people think it's just an innocent holiday, is what you Muslims would call the jinn. We're celebrating the jinn. Yeah. So a lot of people are going to be going very, very crazy, and it's going to be wild. It's going to be a crazy time. The next 6 months, my prediction is the next 6 months are going to be very wild. So be careful out there, people. Just be careful. Anyway. Yes, my eyes are closed to your light. I am an animal, a Negro, but I am capable of being saved. You maniacs, wild beasts, misers are Negroes in disguise. Merchant, you're a Negro. Magistrate, you're a Negro. General, you're a Negro. Emperor, you old scabby itch, you're a Negro. You have drunk untaxed liquor, Satan's moonshine. This people is inspired by fever and cancer. Invalids and old people are so respectable that they ask to be boiled. The cunningest thing to do is to leave this continent where madness prowls searching for hostages, for these wretches. I'm going into the real kingdom of the children of Ham. This is, this is what they do. It's so beautiful. It's so beautifully written, and it's so fucking, it's so well presented. But this is what, okay, so this is what 30 years in the entertainment industry has taught me. The entertainment industry is not about entertainment. It's nothing to do with entertainment. You can actually look at the history of music and you can study the history of music and you can put it like side by side with the degeneration of civilization. And it's quite fascinating to watch, because in countries where they haven't been influenced by the West and they still have traditional music and this is what they listen to, their countries are still kind of thriving in the traditional way. They're not exactly progressive. And look, and again, I have no problem with progressivism. I have no problem with things progressing and things changing, because the old way was not necessarily good. Things do need to change. Things need, but that is the world. We are in a state of flux at all times. We are always in a state of change. That is the nature of this world. But we've seen, like, I often look at America and I think, well, you guys need to take a fair bit of responsibility for where the world is at now, because it all came out of America. A lot of it came out of America. But if you look at the history of music, if you study the history of music, it's quite fascinating that you can basically align the downfall of an entire civilization with the music. But then it was also the film and the stories, because art is so fucking important. If you are an artist, get out there and tell good stories. Like, it's so important that artists get out there and tell good stories. This is why there are people that believe that there will be no revolution in the West, because the art is not dictating it. Because the art often dictates revolution. The art kind of comes first, because the art is the voice of the people. And what's the voice of the people now? It's just kind of this whiny little bitch ass. Like, in the West, the art, like, I haven't seen any great art for a while. I haven't seen any revolutionary art. Maybe that guy, the graffiti guy. I don't know. I just haven't seen it for quite some time. I haven't seen any revolutionary art. I need water because I took a pill earlier, a vitamin B pill, a very strong vitamin B pill. Actually, it was a vitamin E pill. And it's starting to kick in that I really need water. Coke and whiskey are not cutting it. So Once again, I don't have anything. But enjoy the show of the girls fighting in the background while I get some water. All right, I'm back. I think I'll close this down because I've lost Ali. It was fun talking to someone, an 18-year-old kid from Iraq that plays Xbox. I have nothing in common with your generation at all. I played some Atari when I was a kid, and then I stopped playing it. You guys just keep going with it. You guys are just... And I get it, because the games are so much better now. I did get into Call of Duty for a while. A few years ago when my friend Bryn gave me a copy of Call of Duty. Very cool game. But I do think you're losing yourself in unreality. But hey, you're young. And when I was young, I lost myself in unreality, a different kind of unreality, but it was certainly unreality. It was nothing, there was nothing real in what I was doing. So, you know, you're playing video games. I do think you'd be better off going out hunting. I'm not a big proponent of hunting. I do it sometimes. I like it. But real world hunting would be better, I think. Although we don't want, as my neighbour said, we don't want everyone doing it. There'll be nothing out there. But yeah, no, I think what's behind... I think a lot of you guys that play video games, and again, nothing against it. I don't have any... I'm not coming on here and being like, oh, what are these kids playing video games? It's so strange. No, I get it. I loved video games when I was young. The video games when I was young were very different. But I just can't recommend enough you transferring that into real life. Like, I don't want you all to go out and... I don't want to promote a Hunger Games type scenario necessarily. But what I am saying is you haven't lived until you've hunted another human. The most dangerous game. So get your Xbox teams together and say, let's all meet at these coordinates, and it's a last man standing kind of scenario. And you'll really live. You'll be like, wow, I was so alive for those few hours before I got shot in the face. But you will really experience something real for a change. No, go hunting something, or just go target shooting with a real rifle or a bow and arrow. Bow and arrows are great. That's real instinctive kind of stuff. But yeah, keep playing your video games. That's cool. But that is where we're going as a society. Everything is going digitized, and the thing is, I don't really know how much this reality is worth fighting for, because I do feel like this reality ended some time ago. And one of the things I know about reality is that it is a mirror. It simply reflects what you believe. I've seen it change. I've seen it go like chunk, like as soon as you figure out reality, you will see it change. It's because it is deceptive. Reality can be deceptive, but it's because of what is going on in ourselves. So yeah, just be aware that reality shifts. Reality is a reflective surface. Let's put it that way. Reality is a reflective surface. What you believe dictates what your reality is. And as soon as you figure that out, you will see reality shift. Like, I swear, I've seen it. Now, when you said nice streaming, that's great. I hope you weren't being sarcastic, but if you were, I really don't care. At least you didn't try to sell me something, which is most of what the internet is. Yes, my eyes are closed to your light. I'm a Christian Taoist. I am what you would call a Christian I believe in the divinity of Christ. I've seen the power of it. People get freaked out when I talk about Christ, which just kind of reveals how many demons you got talking to you. Do I know nature yet? Do I know myself? No more words. I bury the dead in my belly. Shouts, drums, dance, 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 dance. I cannot even see the time when the whites will land and I shall collapse into nothing. This is how long this has been going on, this war against white people where, like, we're evil and shit. Hunger, thirst, shouts, dance, dance, dance. This was written 2 centuries ago. This is how long this stuff has been going on, the demoralization. The whites are landing, the cannon. We shall have to submit to baptism, put clothes on and work. I have received in my heart the stroke of mercy. I had not foreseen it. This is the thing that I find hard about the whole Israel-Palestine conflict, is because no nation is born in peace. Every nation has been born out of murdering the locals. No nation has been born in peace. No nation has been just like, let's form a nation, and it was just peacefully You know, as soon as people start writing lines on a map, there's going to be problems. You know what I mean? I don't really care about those problems. I don't like, you know. More and more I'm just moving away to the country, and I'm just giving up this nonsense, so I really don't. Like, I just like take care of my own shit. And but spending too much time on the internet is a problem. That's why I spend less and less time on the internet. That's why people get frustrated because they message me and I don't message them back for weeks. I don't look at my messenger. I don't look at Facebook. I don't look at Instagram and stuff, because that's how I protect my own mental health. Even real world interactions I find frustrating. But the reality is we are all responsible for our own psyche. So, and your psyche is up to you. Like, you can be in a fucked up reality, or you can be in a positive reality. And the time is coming where the choice will have to be made. I will say, be careful of the Kundalini awakening. If you have one of those, and I've had friends that have had these too. I've had them, and shit gets very crazy. So what's coming up, I guess what I'm saying is, what is coming up is a lot of people are going to be awakened to stuff, and they're not really going to realize what's going on. But just stick with it, because it's worth it. But remain grounded as much as you can. Like, if you find yourself suddenly in a heightened awakened state, and you wake up one day and you're in a different reality, don't freak out. Stay grounded. Routine is good. The familiar is very good. Anything that's familiar. The unknown will be calling you, but stick to the familiar as much as you can. Avoid drugs and alcohol. It's easy for me to say while I'm on drugs and drinking. But this is coming from experience. I'm probably going to be in another country while this thing happens. But I'm going to be very focused on the awakening side. I will see you all there. That's what I hope, anyway. I hope I will see you all there on the other side. And if you do have some kind of awakening, just be very careful on the 31st, because that's going to be, yeah, that's kind of my hunting time, you know, and my people's hunting time. It's when we hunt. So I'm just letting you know, just don't, you know, don't fall for it. Invest in gratitude is what I would say most of all. Let me look up some of my jokes. Let me see if I can find 111. Perfect. Why is everything... Okay. Let me ask you this question. Why is everything so much cheaper if you buy it in bulk, except prostitutes? Huh? Huh? Why is that? All right. I'll do this. I've written a children's book. And children's books are very popular now. I haven't illustrated it yet, but this is a children's book that I've written. Well, I haven't quite finished it yet, but it's a children's book, and it's called Baby's First Acid Trip. I think it's a winner. And I'll read you the book, but you'll have to imagine the illustrations. Why is the baby looking so placid? Uh-oh. Looks like baby got into the acid. A drop somehow got on mum's tit. Baby's about to see some fucking wild shit. Baby's in a state of untethered bliss. I kind of think baby's a bit young for this. I mean, if you'd have asked me, I'd have said no, not until you're 3. But oh well, fuck it, too late now. Baby's tripping balls, and how? Baby's wondering what it's all about. Looks like baby's freaking out. Baby's crying. Bad trip kicked in. Quick, give baby some heroin. Tie off that arm and spank that vein. Hold on, baby. Here comes the smack train. Not too much, just a little taste. Now baby's calm and totally spaced. Now some for me against nervousness. No need to call child services. That's all I've got so far, but that's pretty good. I think that's going to be, that'll be out on Amazon quite soon. Baby's First Acid Trip, that's going to be a huge thing for all over the world, really. Worldwide phenomenon. A bit like that book about the wizards. Hey, been watching, very interesting. What I heard, bit of eye opener. Hey, Sandy. I'm glad you've been watching. I'm just ranting because I can't share screens at the moment, so I'm glad you're watching. It's nice to hear from you. How are you going, Sandy? I mean, yeah, I got stuck in Oyen. My plan was to come back this weekend and be back tomorrow. I was going to come back today. But now the lawyers want to see me on Monday, and I've got to take some papers back to the accountant on Monday. Yeah. But, you know, because we had plans this weekend. We were going to do some stuff this weekend. But it'll have to be the weekend after next, I guess. That's all right. That's all right. I'll make sure we've still got all the things we need to do it. Or we'll get some more or whatever. Fuck it. Doesn't matter. Anyway. Quick, are there other lives? Slumber in wealth is impossible. Wealth has always been so public. Only divine love bestows the keys of knowledge. I see that nature is the only... Sorry. I'm having trouble translating the French accurately. Quick, are there other lives? Slumber in wealth is impossible. Wealth has always been so public. Only divine love bestows the keys of knowledge. Okay, that's good. Only divine love bestows the keys of knowledge. I see that nature is only a display of kindness. Farewell chimeras, ideals, errors. Nature is not a display of... See, this is the other thing. And we're getting this a lot now. And I get this from people online where they're like, oh, we got to get back to nature. Nature's so great. Well, I grew up with people who worship nature, and they're fucking... No. That kind of pagan horseshit where you worship nature. If you worship nature, if you really worship nature, go and spend a month in nature and see how much you fucking love nature. There's a reason we overcame nature. Quick, are there other lives? Slumber in wealth is impossible. That is true. So this is what they do, though. They salt their demoralization with certain truth. Slumber in wealth is impossible. Yeah. Wealth has always been so public. Only divine love bestows the keys of knowledge. I see that nature is only a display of kindness. Farewell to chimeras, ideals. Like, I don't know. What do you make of it? The reasoned song of angels rises from the rescue ship. It is divine love, two loves. I can die of earthly love or die of devotion. I have left behind souls whose pain will grow because of my departure. You have chosen me from among the shipwrecked. Are those who are left behind not my friends? Save them. Schopenhauer said something very interesting. I can't remember exactly what the Schopenhauer quote was, but basically what it comes down to is, like, if you see someone in a car wreck, say you see a car like roll and it catches on fire, that instinct to run and save the people, which I absolutely have. I know some people will have the instinct to save themselves. They'll stand back, they'll pull out their phones, and they'll be like, this is a great TikTok. I have that instinct in me to save the people, because I can't help it, because I believe that is what the divine spark is. That is what makes us all human, and that's what connects us all. And it's the same reason that we are, having watched a certain country just absolutely decimate women and children of another country, that's what connects us all. We see that and we just go like, I can't accept that, because that is the divine spark in all of us that makes us go, no, we are all connected. We are all children of God. We are all one people. We are all connected. The desire to save people is what proves our unity and our divine spark. Because if I see a car crash, I'm not thinking about, like, well, what's these people's political affiliation? I'm just thinking, get them out of that car before it explodes. If I see a pregnant woman being shot I'm like, stop that shooter. That is the divine spark. That is the thing that connects us all. That's the thing that makes us functional human beings. That's the thing that makes us divine. That's the thing that separates us from nature. You know, we see it, we do see videos now where there's like, you know, one animal kind of protecting another one. Protection is one thing, but then when you see the animal getting eaten by a pack of lions and the entire herd of zebras, just they keep running. They're like, well, fuck them. Just keep running. It's because they don't have the divine spark that we have. So people that are like, we need to get back to nature and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I agree to some extent, but for the most part, the worship of nature is paganism. Which, you know, that has some good points, but it has some bad points as well. Paganism leads to human sacrifice. Human sacrifice does lead to new technology. But, you know, at what cost? I mean, this is what's been going on in Israel-Palestine, is human sacrifice. And various other places in the world as well, but we're just not getting the media attention for those places. But it is human sacrifice. They've even come out and admit it, and they say, well, we just sacrifice to different gods now. The god of freedom, the god of democracy. And I get that. I understand what they're saying. But it's still human sacrifice, because they're not sacrificing their own, they're sacrificing other people's kids. They're sacrificing people that they've sucked into being like, oh yeah, serving in the military, that's a great thing to do. And it is. You learn a lot in the military. Look, I think life is just a kind of a, it's not as important as we think it is, but it is the most important thing at the same time. God doesn't care about you, but he loves you. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can, the reason that the only unforgivable sin is to deny God is because you are separating yourself from God. So God isn't there going, no, you must come. God gave us free will for a reason. That is why it's the only unforgivable sin. And it's again, unforgiveness. It's not like, you got to understand things on a different level. You've got to go up to a different level to get these things, because it's not about, oh, I can't forgive you. It's about the position you've placed yourself in. And it's why atheism is so successful, because people wish to cling on to that. Wish to cling on to something which denies their own divinity, thereby denying their own responsibility. And, yeah, this is just how it works. You got to understand that the universe that we live in, the world we live in, is all about energy. The reason for a long time that it's been, like, it's said that to be gay or homosexual is wrong, it's not about whether it's right or wrong. It's about how energy works. You can't take two batteries and put the positives together and the negatives together. You've got to have a positive and a negative to make the energy flow. So I'm not saying don't be gay. I'm not saying don't be whatever you need to be in this life. I'm just saying that energy works in a certain way. And male and female are like the positive and negatives of batteries. And so the maximum amount of energy flow that you can achieve in this life is to be male and female, to align yourself to male and female, to commit yourself to a female or commit yourself to a male. That's just how energy works. But I'm not saying that you shouldn't do whatever it is that you're doing. I'm just talking about how energy works, because we are energetic vessels. That's all we are. When it said, when Christ said, "Did you not know your body is a temple?" Your body is a temple. That's exactly what it is. And when you treat it badly, you're treating the temple badly. And this is the temple that the divine spark lives in. And it's just like, you were given free will for a reason. So do you. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you how energy works. That's all I'm saying. And this is like years of experience, years of seeing how life works, how energy flows. I know a lot of people think that if you have money, you're absolutely killing it in life, and you must be right. But that is the absolute definition of materialism. And materialism doesn't lead anywhere. Materialism doesn't get you anywhere. I don't know. I'm really working on turning my life around as much as I can, as best I can, because I've lived so wrong, because I was raised so wrong by people who have lived so wrong. And there's so much knowledge this is what I find frustrating. Anytime I talk about Christianity or the Bible or any of these religious texts, I would love to talk to a Muslim about what's in there in the Quran. I've looked at the Quran. I've never really read it all the way through. But I think there's a lot that gets mixed up in it. Whereas the Bible, being a Jewish book, and the Jews being the people who celebrate life, and then there's the New Testament, there's just so much in it that is just practical good advice. But it's from 2,000 years ago, so you've got to understand it. But that thing of you will know them by their fruits, man, I've learned so much from that, just by watching people who have lived their life a certain way, materialistic, and then you see the fruits. You see what they have reaped, and you're like, holy shit, I do not want that. I just do not want that. I want something better for myself. I saw it when I was a kid. I saw I saw certain people were happy and certain people were content, and others were like constantly criticizing and just hating. And anyway. However, the religion has fucked things up a lot. Religion fucks a lot of things up because it's so, I don't know, it's very low, Anyway. So I think I'm just going to leave it there. I'm just going to close this down. And I think I've talked enough bullshit tonight. I'll continue reading a little bit. The reasoned song of the angels rises from the rescue ship. It is divine love. Two loves. I can die of earthly love or die of devotion. I think I read that before. Reason is born in me. The world is good. I will bless life. I will love my brothers. These are no longer childhood vows, nor are they the hope of escaping old age and death. God is my strength, and I praise God. That's quite a beautiful phrase. Reason is born in me. The world is good. I will bless life. I will love my brothers. These are no longer childhood vows, nor are they the hope of escaping old age and death. God is my strength, and I praise God. That's a beautiful passage. I am no longer in love with boredom, frenzies, debaucheries, madness, whose joys and disasters I know. My whole burden is laid down. Let us contemplate without vertigo the extent of my innocence. This is interesting. I'm actually coming to a point in this book where I can relate to. This is very interesting. This is where I'm at. I should no longer be capable of asking for the comfort of a bastinado. I don't know what that is. I do not think that I have embarked for a wedding celebration with Jesus Christ for a father-in-law. I am not a prisoner of my reason. I have said, God, I desire freedom in salvation. How is it to be pursued? Frivolous tastes have left me. No more need for self-sacrifice, nor for divine love. I do not look back with longing to the age of sensitive hearts. Contempt and charity has its own righteousness, or its own rightness. I keep my place at the top of this angelic ladder of good sense. As for established happiness, domestic or not, no, I cannot. I am too dissipated, too weak. Life flowers in work as an old truth, but my own life is not substantial enough. It flies away and drifts far above action, that focal point so dear to the world. What an old maid I am becoming, to lack the courage to love death. If God would grant me celestial, aerial calm and prayer, like the old saints, the saints, strong men, the anchorites, artists whose like is no longer needed, a continual farce, my innocence would make me weep. Life is the farce which everyone has to perform.